So they begin to roll for the Valvoline Modified Rod Championship of New South Wales. Lloyd Hobson and Tony Hopping will lead this big pack of modified rods. Grafton's Neil Lorenz and Lismore's Bruce Maxwell, the second row of the grid. Steve Robinson and John Atwood make the third row. Steve Fortune and Neil Gillespie, the fourth row. So the pace car is dropping off. So if you've got a favourite driver, give them a cheer, because now we're getting set for the New South Wales Modified Rod Championship. And the green flag falls and Tony Hopping shot to the lead on the outside. The Victorian Lloyd Hobson couldn't go with him in the early pace of the race. Bruce Maxwell's in third, then Neil Lorenz running fourth. Tony Hopping out very wide. Lloyd Hobson coming down tight and low, but Hopping has the lead from the Victorian Hobson. Then comes Maxwell, followed by Lorenz. Steve Robinson is next. Then comes Atwood, followed by Fortune. But here is now another New South Wales champ out to try and defend his title. Roy Earpeth has just done it in the Formula 500s, and now Tony Hopping is trying to do so in the modified rods. He leads from the Victorian champ, Lloyd Hobson. In third place, Bruce Maxwell. Fourth is Neil Lorenz, and fifth is Steve Robinson. Tony Hopping not up to the slower traffic yet, but once they get into the traffic it could be very interesting. As Hopping leads the way from Lloyd Hobson, then Bruce Maxwell, Steve Robinson and Neil Lorenz. They're the top 5 cars, and now the traffic is going to start to come into play. Hopping, see if he can make his way. There's trouble there with the Steve Edmund car. Stuck on the edge of the track, now he's clear of the track. And trying to get, Graham Edmund I should say, trying to get back on, and he does so. Hopping in the orange car number 1, the current New South Wales champ, is now lapping his way through the field, has put 2 slower cars between he and the Victorian Lloyd Hobson, but Hobson really driving nicely, there's no doubt about it. So too is Hopping, and these two might start to really put a gap on the rest of them as they come through the traffic, because Bruce Maxwell in third place is not quite handling the traffic as well as the other two. Hopping handling it well, and so too is Hobson. But Hopping has managed to get some cars between he and second place. Tony Hopping is the leader. Lloyd Hobson, the Victorian, is in second place. Now Bruce Maxwell is staying in touch with these 3. Maxwell and Neil Lorenz, the Grafton driver, and Steve Robinson from Lismore. Oh, Hobson got into a bit of trouble there. He got crossed up, and Neil Lorenz has come through. Bruce Maxwell has blown a right rear, and Maxwell is out of the race. Lorenz goes up into third place, and Robinson is running fourth. So it's Tony Hopping, the leader. Lloyd Hobson, the Victorian, is running second. Neil Lorenz in the car number 42, the Grafton driver, is third. And Steve Robinson, the Lismore driver, is fourth. Lorenz trying to come through on the inside of the slower car, Edwards. Leader, the orange car, the New South Wales champ, Tony Hopping, is coming down with 11 laps to go. So far, this race has run uninterrupted, and Tony Hopping is coming up to some slower traffic, but he has a big space between he and Lloyd Hobson, the Victorian. Neil Lorenz in third place is getting a little closer to the Victorian Hobson. Steve Robinson is running fourth. Steve Fortune would be fifth. So here's the leader, Tony Hopping, trying to get past Neil Gillespie, but he can't get him at the moment. And there's a big pack of traffic up ahead of our race leader, Tony Hopping, and he's having a real dice to try and get past Neil Gillespie. Now he goes up on the outside of Gillespie and past the outside of Lavender as well. Still Lloyd Hobson from Victoria is holding on to second place. The Grafton driver Neil Lorenz is third, and the Lismore driver Steve Robinson is fourth. Tony Hopping putting plenty of traffic between he and second place getter Lloyd Hobson. So the leader is Hopping. Coming up to the slower cars. In second place is the white car, the Victorian champ. And with 5 laps to go, a car that had been black flagged from the race is going to bring Tony Hopping back to the rest of the field. Now, it's an interesting situation. Tony Hopping comes back to the pack, but it was caused by a car that had been given the black flag because the officials had spotted that he had a flat tyre. Was given the black flag on a number of occasions and just continued to race, and now brings the race to a halt. And wouldn't that be tragedy if it cost Tony Hopping the race? So Tony Hopping, Lloyd Hobson and Neil Lorenz. So now they're rolling. That'll get a bit of cool breeze blowing into their radiators and help them a little. So plenty of pressure on. And remember, earlier in one of the races, Steve Fortune managed to do better on the outside of the grid. I wonder whether Lloyd Hobson can do better on the outside of the grid here. Hopping and Hobson, Lorenz and Robinson, Fortune and Bundy, all visiting cars. On their way, and Lorenz got up on the inside of the Victorian Hobson. It's a tight corner at the restart with only 6 laps to go. Lorenz on the inside of the Victorian. Tony Hopping got the lead. Lorenz goes up into second, and here's Steve Fortune coming up on the inside as well. Tony Hopping is the leader. He's only 5 laps away from victory. Are we going? Oh, Hobson goes in there, and there's trouble. Hobson and Lorenz and Robinson. And the Victorian is going to be sent to the rear. Now Hopping will come back to the field again, and he signals to the steward that he has to keep rolling because he's got a heating problem. In fact, they've all got a bit of a heating problem, I would reckon. Steve Edwards is up there. Colin O'Toole. There's the green light. Robinson got up quickly on the inside. He might be the danger. Here's Fortune trying to squeeze through the middle. Bundy getting up on the inside. Tony Hopping still the leader. Steve Robinson from Lismore now the challenger. There's 4 laps to go. Hopping the leader, but here comes Robinson. Robinson seems to be going strongly too. Hopping leads. Here's Robinson getting up on the inside of Hopping, and he's got him. Hopping came back at him on the outside, but got a red light with Hopwood in trouble. Now, Hopping and Robinson got a bump there, and I wonder whether Hopping's steering has gone. I'm not sure. He's certainly blowing plenty of steam. Gee whiz, wouldn't it be frustrating looking at that Coca-Cola timer? His car's pointed straight towards it. He sees that there are 4 laps left. Steam pouring from his engine. He's managed to get fired up. Well, I thought he had. Yes, he has. So he's okay. Doesn't seem to be worried too much about the steam, and who would be with only 4 laps to go. Now Robinson's the danger. Robinson was having a shot at him. So Hopping 4 laps away from defending this title, but the pressure is on. Robinson from Lismore, Lorenz from Grafton, and Fortune from Sydney, with Barry Bundy also throwing out a challenge. So they're in their positions with 4 laps to go in the Valvoline Modified Rod Championship. Hopping got away okay. Fortune went right out onto the wall. Lorenz went up into 3rd place. Bundy went up into 4th. Tony Hopping the leader. Here comes Robinson with that challenge. Down Main straightaway. Hopping has 3 laps left to go. He's getting a little untidy. Robinson comes up on the outside of him. Hopping is down low. Robinson looking to switch back on the inside. He's slowing down Hopping. I think that motor's starting to feel the pinch with the steam that was pouring out earlier, but Steve Robinson got up high and Neil Lorenz went through on the inside. There's only 2 laps to go for Hopping, and now the challenger is Neil Lorenz from Grafton. Robinson's dropped back to 3rd. Bundy is 4th. Tony Hopping 1 lap away from defending the title. Neil Lorenz is right behind him. Hopping will try not to make any mistakes on the last lap. Lorenz is going to try and have to get him on the outside. Hopping will keep it down tight and low. I think Tony Hopping's drifted up at the last little minute. They come charging to the checkered flag, and it's Lorenz. I think Lorenz has got Tony Hopping right on the line. I'll wait for confirmation. Remember, I am not the official judge. It's just as I call it, but they were hooked together, and I reckon Lorenz got there on the line. And the decision from the officials, 42, Neil Lorenz first. New South Wales 1, Tony Hopping 2nd, and 9, Steve Robinson 3rd. But I would imagine for the moment they'll be provisional placings. We'll certainly go ahead with the trophy presentations as they stand. So we have our New South Wales Championship in the modified rods decided. And congratulations goes to the Grafton driver, Neil Lorenz. Neil, would you please accept from Jackie the trophy from Valvoline and our congratulations. Step over this way and let me give you your congratulations, because to win a New South Wales title in what? The last 50 metres of the race must be something you're going to remember for a long while. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I didn't think I had it there. I didn't know how many laps there were to go. I was getting that tired. I didn't know what was going on. I'd like to thank everyone for giving me a hand. BRC Racing sponsored me. Thank you very much. Big thanks to me dad. Thank you for Valvoline for sponsoring the meeting, and thanks all you people for coming and looking at us. Thank you.
Good on you. Congratulations to you, Neil. Second place tonight has gone to Tony Hopping. Tony, after leading it all that way, please accept the trophy from Jackie on behalf of Valvoline. Accept my congratulations and I suppose commiserations. Would you believe it? 50 metres. They say in racing it's never over till the checkered flag falls, and there it was. Locked together coming across the line. Would you believe it?
Yeah, that was just the way it goes, I suppose. Motor was going off the last 10 laps and we were just hanging in there, and I was surprised.
I said that, Tony, that we saw the steam coming out, and that perhaps those last 5 or 6 laps that the motor was just starting to get a little bit tired.
Yeah, we didn't need the stoppages. I just like to thank Phil and Diane Geelan. They put in a hell of a lot to this. Graham Harris, the engine, Dulux Auto Colour, NGK, GIO and Avis, and anyone else that's helped with it, and all Dwayne as well, he's helped out.
Thanks for providing us with a fantastic race. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks very much. Congratulations to Neil.
And third place has gone to the Lismore driver, Steve Robinson. Steve, would you grab your trophy from Valvoline and accept our congratulations? I thought for a moment there, Steve, that you might have been able to get up and actually take the victory. Another stoppage came about. It looked like you were going to get past Tony. The stoppage came about, brought you back a lap, and then third place you've had to settle for.
Yes, congratulations to Neils and Tony. Yes, that stoppage, I think the tyre just cooled down, and you know, I was just going for the doctor and it didn't quite come off. Thanks very much to Valvoline, the sponsors of the car. Well, the sponsors, Tommy Soward, who builds the car and works endlessly on it, Lou, Barry Coleman, all the people back home, and the girls up there in the cheer squad that always stay with us. And thanks very much, Peter, for putting on a fine title. The track was great, and I think that start should have been something, or the finish should have been something to be seen, because I was sort of hoping that maybe they might have tangled and stopped before the checkered flag, but they just carried across, so should have looked good.
Good on you, Steve. Yes, it was a great finish to the race. Tremendously exciting New South Wales Modified Rod Championship. There are the